It was a quiet Tuesday morning when I first noticed the letter taped to my front door. Bright red ink, official HOA letterhead, and one line in bold, "You are in violation of HOA Regulation 3.7, offensive display." I stared at it, confused, then glanced up at the front porch where my American flag fluttered in the light breeze. I'd just put it up 2 days ago, freshly bought from my dad who served in the Navy. The stars and stripes weren't just cloth, they were pride, memory, and legacy. So who could possibly find it offensive? I didn't have to wonder long. Across the street, standing on her pristine lawn like she owned the entire neighborhood, was Eleanor Cartwright, aka Karen Supreme, as we not so lovingly called her behind closed doors. She wore her usual pastel tracksuit, arms crossed, lips tight, sunglasses perched on her head like a crown. And the moment I locked eyes with her, she smirked and turned away. That smirk told me everything. She did this. I'd moved into Oak Hollow just 4 months ago. Fresh start, good schools, clean sidewalks, the type of neighborhood where the mailman knows your name and kids ride bikes until sunset. I bought the house with money saved over 6 years of overtime. My daughter, Annie, loved it here. So did I, until Karen decided I was a problem. First, it was the mailbox. She claimed it wasn't regulation size. Then it was my grass, a 1/4 inch too long. Then she complained about my car being too loud, though it was a stock model Honda. And now my flag, that was personal. I called the HOA number listed on the letter. No one picked up. I emailed. No response. I even dropped by the HOA office down the block, closed for administrative reorganization. The timing was convenient, to say the least. That night, I reviewed the HOA manual word for word. There was nothing about flags being offensive, except if they were political, vulgar, or hateful. Mine was the American flag. What could be more legal? So I did what any proud American would do. I added lights to it, I cleaned the pole, I raised it higher. That's when the war began. The next day, a random inspection was done on my property. I got fined $50 for leaving trash cans visible from the street. Another $75 for overgrown hedges. That weren't even mine, they belonged to the rental next door. And then a $100 fine for nuisance lighting. Aimed at the flag, they said. I knew exactly what was happening. Karen was using the HOA as her personal revenge army. And from what I'd heard, she had friends inside. Rumor was, her cousin was the treasurer, and her bridge partner ran the complaint system. I was outnumbered, outgunned, and being bled dry through fees. But she didn't know who she was messing with. I documented everything. I took photos of my property every morning. I recorded videos with timestamps. I installed a ring cam that picked up audio from across the street. I caught Karen multiple times on video, snooping through my yard, taking pictures, even peeking into my windows. Then it escalated. On Saturday, I came home from grocery shopping to find my flag gone, torn clean off the pole. Only a few strands of the rope remained, dangling and flapping like a crime scene. Annie stood on the porch, tears in her eyes. "She did it, Dad. I saw her." My fists clenched. I called the police. They came, took the statement, reviewed the footage. Karen had snuck over at 5:17 a.m., hoodie on, gloves, snatched the flag, and tossed it in the dumpster 2 streets over. The officer shook his head. "Unbelievable," he muttered. "But we can't charge her without catching her in the act." That's when I knew I needed to go deeper. I filed a complaint with the city. I sent copies of every fine, every video, and every violation report. I contacted a local news station anonymously and gave them everything. And then I reached out to a lawyer, not just any lawyer, a veteran who specialized in HOA corruption. 2 weeks later, everything exploded. The news segment aired on a Thursday night. "HOA harassment or neighborhood justice" was the headline. They played the clips. Karen tearing down my flag. Karen on her porch shouting, "This isn't a military base." Karen screaming at Annie to go play in the ghetto. The community erupted. Turns out, I wasn't the only one she targeted. A black couple down the street had received constant fines for unauthorized gatherings every time their relatives visited. A gay couple 2 blocks over was told their rainbow mailbox violated color coordination codes. A single mom was fined for having a laundry line in her backyard. Karen had been a tyrant for years. The lawyer I hired launched a formal investigation into the HOA. Turns out Karen wasn't just a member. She was secretly funneling money from HOA funds into beautification projects that only improved her own property. Her cousin, under federal audit. Her bridge partner, forced to resign. Within a month, Karen received an official eviction notice. The HOA bylaws she'd weaponized so gleefully, they had a clause for misuse of authority and damage to community integrity, a clause she herself wrote, ironically. She was ordered to leave Oak Hollow in 30 days. On moving day, I stood on my porch with Annie. Our new flag waved high and proud. Karen stormed out of her front door, face beet red, arms full of trash bags. She glared at me like I had destroyed her empire. I didn't say a word. I didn't have to. The entire block watched her leave. Some waved, some cheered. One guy played Born in the USA on his speakers. The HOA? Rebuilt from the ground up. Community meetings are now open to all. No more shady letters, no more silent fines. People started planting flags again. Our neighborhood finally felt like America should, free. As for Karen, I heard she tried to join another HOA 2 towns over. Didn't last a week. Some people never learn. Freedom isn't free, but sometimes justice is poetic.